In the short history of this channel, I've had the luxury of filming and discussing some of the best neighborhoods in Sarasota and Lakewood Ranch. And of all those neighborhoods, the Lake Club was one of the most enjoyable to shoot, discuss, and edit. And now, roughly 8 months later, after having actually sold in the community, performing dozens of showings for multiple buyers in the Lake Club, I've grown to know and appreciate this neighborhood much more intimately. So it only feels right to come back and revisit the Lake Club in greater depth and detail for 2025. We'll talk about the atmosphere, the builders, the homes, the amenities, even the pricing. But more importantly, we'll take a look at why a majority of the people who actually show up in Lakewood Ranch to view homes in person consider the Lake Club to be the best luxury neighborhood in all of Lakewood Ranch. If you don't know me yet, my name is Michael. I'm a realtor in the area and I work with buyers from out of town to help them find the perfect home here. If that's you, give me a call or text at the number on the screen and I'll help you sort out the area, show you homes, negotiate your contract, and help you with your closing. In the meantime, check out my website, constructionreview.co, in the description with all the active MLS listings, along with videos just like this on every neighborhood in Lakewood Ranch and Sarasota. As you may know by now, the Lake Club is located in Lakewood Ranch, America's #1 master plan community, just south of Tampa Bay and northeast of Sarasota. Within Lakewood Ranch, the Lake Club is right off University Parkway in what I like to call the luxury district of Lakewood Ranch. On one end of the luxury district, you have Lakewood Ranch Main Street in the northwest corner and Waterside Place on the southwest corner. And then moving eastbound, there's a brand new Centerpoint shopping center with new restaurants along with commercial and retail space. And then continuing down University, there's a series of luxury neighborhoods, including the Country Club East, the Isles, Wild Blue, Waterbury Park, the Concession, Monarch Acres, and the Lake Club. Taking a bird's eye view of the community, we see the neighborhood gets its name from a large finger lake that weaves its way throughout the entirety of the neighborhood, giving many of the homes a private water view. The roads are connected by a handful of these cobblestone bridges that blend seamlessly with the Mediterranean-themed amenities, landscape, and common grounds. One of the many things that separates the Lake Club from its luxury counterparts in Lakewood Ranch is the attention to detail in the common areas here. The neighborhood itself has two distinct sections to it. There's the original section, which began development back in 2007 and features custom homes from a variety of builders. And then there's a new section called Genoa, with semi-custom homes from stock luxury homes, most of which were built between 2019 and 2023. These two sections are very different, so we'll discuss both of them in more detail now. If you enjoy a neighborhood with character, the original section is going to be a more satisfying option for you. For starters, this section is far more spread out, with a majority of the common ground space being located here in a larger average lot size. There's also far more variety in this section. Since a vast majority of the homes here are custom and there were a multitude of builders, the original section has a plethora of architectural styles, from this French colonial home to a multitude of Mediterranean-style architecture to Victorian homes. There's also a variety of coastal options, along with the modern and contemporary homes. And rounding it out, the Lake Club features a lot of the simple single-story contemporary homes with a coastal touch and a really large footprint that were built as recently as 2024 by stock homes. You'll also notice that this part of the neighborhood is far more lush than the newer sections that we'll take a look at soon. Since many of the trees in the common grounds here are approaching 20 years old, and many of the palms and oaks that were planted on the single-family lots have had time to grow, there's a canopy of trees that provides a private, enclosed feel that you'll only really encounter in an established neighborhood. All these aspects combine to create a truly authentic and classic feel that many still find more appealing and charming than the homogeneity that we tend to see in the brand new luxury neighborhoods of Lakewood Ranch. As for pricing in this original section, there's quite a wide spread. At the very bottom of the spectrum, you'll see homes on Matera that may dip down to just below $2 million, and on the higher end of the spectrum, you'll see homes that exceed $5 million, with 4 of the newer spec homes from stock luxury homes being listed and sold between $5 and $7 million. And given the size and scope of some of the off-market properties, there's potential for homes to be listed as high as $10 million or above over the coming years. However, a vast majority of the homes for sale in this section are going to fall between 2.5 and 4 million. Moving on to the Genoa section of Lake Club, it almost feels like a completely different neighborhood. It's still part of the same gated area of the Lake Club and shares all of the amenities, but the whole atmosphere is very different. As a whole, there's a lot more uniformity here, with Stock Luxury Homes being the only builder for this section. For reference, Stock Luxury Homes is a developer of Wild Blue just down the road. And in many ways, the Genoa section of the Lake Club has a very similar feel. The architectural style in this section has a simple, contemporary coastal feel with very large ceilings and tall entryways. These homes may not be custom, but they certainly still embody luxury. In a lot of ways, Stock has really nailed down the type of home that many luxury buyers in Florida are interested in. They offer very open floor plans with lots of interior volume, often with ceilings as high as 14 feet or with lots of natural light, and an expansive amount of outdoor square footage in the back. These types of floor plans offer a seamless indoor and outdoor experience and allow the owners to really utilize that outdoor space. Unlike the original section of the Lake Club, the landscaping in Genoa is brand new. This provides much less coverage and shade and less privacy than the original section, but there's definitely a neatness and a crispness to it. Newer landscaping like this is much easier to maintain and manicure in Florida, and it shows. In keeping with the homogeneity of this side of the neighborhood, the price spread is also a little bit more narrow. Just like the original section, a majority of the homes will be in the $2 to $4 million range. But unlike the older section, it will be very rare for a home to exceed the low to mid 4 millions in Genoa, with a majority of the homes here either in the 2 millions or the 3 millions. As you might imagine, it's pretty common to compare these two sections and for people to debate which side is better. But honestly, they both have their positives and their negatives, so it really comes down to your personal preference. My honest opinion is that it depends on your budget. If your budget exceeds $4 million, I probably would recommend the older section. You can choose a really nice resale or purchase one of the last few remaining lots and build a beautiful custom home. If your budget is between $2 to $4 million, the decision becomes much more difficult. Yes, there's much more variety and character in the original section, but now that many of the homes are around a decade or more old, many of them have elements that are dated. Some of these issues are easy fixes, but others are much more complicated. On the other hand, Genoa has a minimalist appearance, but the homes were built in a more recent era of simple, open floor plans with more natural light, and in some ways you could argue that the design of these homes is more true to the Florida lifestyle. So my recommendation is definitely to look at options in both sections, and oftentimes it comes down to what's available when it's your time to move forward. Moving back to the hub of the original development, we have the Grand Clubhouse, the main building housing all the indoor amenities. From the landscape to the structure itself, the Grand Clubhouse sets the tone for the architectural theme of the entire community. The facade features dark stone, contrasted with a white stucco exterior, rounded out by a rich red barrel tile roof with lighter tiles contrasted in. On the inside, the building has more of a classic layout with multiple stories and partition rooms with specific use cases. The interior amenities include a fitness center with regular exercise classes, a spa, a billiards and gaming room, a restaurant with a dining room and event hall, an outdoor bar, and on the exterior, there are tennis courts, pickleball courts, a pro shop, an outdoor park with basketball and a dog park and playground, and finally, behind the Grand Clubhouse, there's the veranda and the pool deck. The pool deck features two separate levels. The upper level features a pool for children and the ground level pool for adults, both of which extend out into the amenity center lawn, overlooking the widest part of the lake. And with that, our tour of the Lake Club comes to an end. The Lake Club was a major step in the development of Lakewood Ranch as a whole. It was the first neighborhood comprised exclusively of luxury homes, and it set the standard for all the subsequent neighborhoods that have followed in its footsteps. But it's managed to stand the test of time and has very much remained in the conversation of Lakewood Ranch's best neighborhoods. And more broadly, as one of the finest landlocked neighborhoods in all of Florida.